The global financial system has a massive problem, and every central bank just proved it. Within the last 24 hours, the Bank of Japan, the Bank of England, and the European Central Bank all froze. And what most people don't realize here is they are completely trapped. Hi, my name is Mike. I've been investing in risk-on assets for the last 10 years. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not giving you personalized financial advice. I just want to talk about the markets and what is going on. So the Federal Reserve just voted 11-1 to hold their rates in the US steady, admitting inflation progress has stalled. Hours later, the Bank of Japan held rates at 0.75%, specifically citing the Iran war as a inflation risk. And the European Central Bank is facing the exact same paralysis in Europe. This isn't coincidence. This is a synchronized global monetary freeze that energy costs will affect the economy. But they are beginning to prepare for longer-lasting distribution to energy supplies that pose a larger threat. The mechanism behind all of this is a sudden 80% surge in the price of Brent crude oil. High oil prices are a massive tax on everyday consumers and businesses, and it's not going to get any better anytime soon. Israel is now saying that oil refineries in the northern city of Haifa have been struck by Iranian missile attacks, but this isn't the biggest problem. China is about to unlock a huge supply of oil. In fact, Beijing has now stockpiled an estimated 1.4 billion barrels of crude reserves that they could now draw on nearly 1 million barrels each day to respond to this crisis. For the US and the EU, this is exactly what they didn't want to happen. In fact, rising prices that they now simply can't control. Think about it. Before the US-Israel attacks on Iran, economists had expected inflation and interest rates to fall further this year. Some had even penciled in a rate cut for March, but the UK committee, as well as the US Federal Reserve, decided to hold in their first unanimous vote 4.5 years. Elevated interest rates are the bank's primary means of bringing inflation down and to the target of 2%. If borrowing costs are high, demand across the economy falls and reducing the momentum behind price increases, well, the banks expect inflation to rise to around 3.5%. We could even see this go even higher towards the end of the year. Now, normally, central banks would cut rates to save a slowing economy, but oil shock is driving inflation expectations higher, making cutting rates impossible. And even the talk could be that we see increased in rates across the globe. This does bring us, though, to the impossible task for the Federal Reserve, the Bank of Japan, the Bank of England, and global leaders alike. If they keep rates high, they completely destroy the economy and risk breaking the bond market. If they lower rates right now, inflation returns with a vengeance, spiking prices for everyone. They have no exit strategy, which is why they're doing nothing. Sometimes in these times, the best thing is to simply sit on your hands. History does give us a clue, though, as to how this always ends, and eventually market intervention. When the system cracks, governments are eventually forced to step in and inject liquidity. More money entering the system mathematically guarantees a devaluation of a fiat currency. This is exactly why smart money is moving into Bitcoin, gold, and hard assets before the pivot happens. Now I know what you're thinking. Well, gold and silver and many other assets have crashed over the last few days. This is a temporary pushdown, and as the war in Iran continues and the view is it goes much longer, then these are going to be the assets people are going to want to get into. Now, you all know my thoughts when it comes to the crypto market, and that is probably where I would hedge my view. It's been an exceptional difficult day. In fact, Anne Titiveria here, she's an economist at USB Investment Bank, says this: we do not believe in 2 or more rate hikes this year. This tells us the economy is going to struggle and people are pricing in a significantly longer drawn war in Iran. The central banks right now, they're paralyzed, and the debt crisis is only getting worse. As long as geopolitical tensions continue, well, this keeps oil prices high, and the Fed has no way of rescuing the economy without triggering hyperinflation. Prioritizing yourself outside of fiat currency is becoming less of a choice and more of a necessity. And that's where this channel and my main channel come in. If you want to stay up to date with more macro finance news, then hit that subscribe button. This is my brand new channel that I want to bring to you the most hard-hitting and latest breaking news, keeping you plugged in to what is going on in this market. So if you want more crypto news, check out my main channel. I'll leave a link for that in the description. But until next time, thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.